Hi Gemini, welcome to your mid-June 2022 General Tarot Update. It's Rena here. Happy birthday to those of you who are celebrating your birthday in June, and also for the May babies, belated birthday wishes. Oh no, not this card. Okay, I'm going to pick an additional card because this is a card that doesn't belong to this deck. I think I'm going to take it out of the deck. Oh, you got to be effing kidding me. I got the day and the night, or the morning. I'm going to pick a third card because these are extra cards. Some decks, they will create their own cards to add to it, but, oh, the sun, that's great. So I get the night and the morning and the sun. That's nice. And of course, solar return time. Okay, I don't know if it paused and I didn't see it, so I'm going to do this again. The heart of the matter is the Seven of Pentacles, and this is a card of a woman. You know, it's a card of like seeing how your energy is being matched by your results. Okay, so an example would, and you get what, before I go on, you see how she's sitting there lost in thought, and I think that's because number 7 relates to like kind of meditation and deep thought and things like that. So reflection. So an example would be if you have started a small business and you have bought a bunch of supplies and maybe you took out ads or whatever it is that you do to get the ball rolling, and you're like, okay, so I've been working on this, I've been putting my energy out there, when is it going to come back in the form of a profit? You know, and maybe you're patiently waiting for it. But with Gemini, I could see a Gemini person kind of like tempted to throw in the towel when things aren't just like kind of, you know, rocking and rolling really quickly. And it might be saying that you have to kind of give it more time, waiting for your harvest, that sort of thing. But in some cases, perhaps the person just keeps, you know, putting more energy into something and they're not reaping those rewards, whether it's a relationship, a business. And if you have Mars in Taurus, you're going to be tempted to do that because you are very steadfast, or you could say stubborn. If you want to look at it a different way, you could say stubborn. And that can lead to people just kind of, I call like Mars and Taurus the steamroller effect, where they just keep doing the same old, trying to bend the will of the universe, so to speak. And that's not really a great way to go about it, but, you know, it's human nature, I suppose. The higher message is the Three of Swords, so it really is saying this is a card of heartache, rejection, whatever's going on. Maybe this is like a person that you've been, you know, it's funny, I didn't talk about the past position, so let me do that first because that's even more. The past position is the Six of Torches. This is connected to Leo, so if there's a Leo person in your life in general, this is, you know, quite a positive card. This could be about success. Maybe there's something going on where you had an initial burst of success and now you feel like you assumed it was going to get off the ground, and now it feels like it's stalled out. And so the temptation is to feel rejected. The temptation is to feel they don't like what I'm putting out there. And like, for instance, if this is work-related, you may have gotten that recognition or that pat on the back, and then you know, that encouraged you to do a great job, hoping to, you know, keep rising in the company or whatever, and then you don't get the promotion or something like that. And it's tempting to say to yourself, this is a dead end, this has no future, or to feel rejected. But that is your own interpretation. It's not necessarily the truth. And it's important to be able to differentiate between those two possibilities. And what crosses you is the Seven of Swords. So this can be a card of deception. I would say in this particular case, maybe like intellectual theft, although it could be physical theft. And the moon is in the background because this is kind of that sketched out vibe, you know, and people doing things in night. Now, this particular deck seems to use a lot of pinks and reds. So even at night, you know, they're not showing the dark, you know, black background. But another meaning of the Seven of Swords is that the person is strategizing on their own, or they're just like keeping their own counsel. I feel like they're starting to make plans, but they're not just broadcasting them to everybody because they don't want the wrong person to kind of betray them and things like that. And because this is in the challenge position, it's possible that you are not doing that, you know, that you are like telling people what your next move is, even though there's treachery around you. And it seems like lately I've been getting a lot of swords when I've been doing the tarot. And I don't know exactly why this, I mean, it is a card of stress and conflict. So it's possible that people feel the brunt of this. And if you think about it, like if we're going through a stressful time as a collective with a lot of problems in society at the moment, it only stands to reason that our interpersonal relationships would suffer from that because everybody's kind of at that heightened level. You are swords, Gemini, so you know how to act like a Gemini, like a swords person. However, the number 7 is about meditation and reflection, and that's not the forte of a Gemini person. Gemini is very social and active, a chatterbox, mentally, physically. I mean, not physically, but, you know, your mind is, you know, could be running rampant, and then your mouth, I guess that is a physical thing. So you have to be able to deal with that reality. You know, it's funny, when I was putting down those cards, when I got the morning card, I started to say to myself, there's got to be a morning after. I started, because I heard that song, I played that song the other day, and I was thinking about that, you know, this idea of you wanting to you know, be in this relationship with someone, and it's like maybe you feel like the relationship hasn't progressed. Maybe there's a physical relationship, but it really isn't a full-time relationship. And it's funny because the first 2 cards I got were these extra cards. I got the morning, and then I got the night. The morning is about the new beginning. And the night is kind of, can be, I don't know if they mention it as the dark night of the soul, but it certainly can, to me, I'm going to look at it that way. It's kind of like, you know, that sense of not knowing what's what, who to trust, what to trust. But, you know, in relationships, I think of that thing of like the the person who they might be having this physical relationship with somebody, but it's not leading it to anything permanent. I use the term dead end. And maybe like with the Three of Swords, you need to cut something off because you're not on the same page with that other person. But it's like you're continuing to engage with that person, hoping that you're going to change their mind, and it's not leading to anything. So we have the night and the morning, and it's like both of these are extremes. So, and if you think about like somebody who has a one night stand, and I'm not necessarily saying that, but when the morning comes, it's a whole different ball game. At night, everything is exciting, and in the morning, it's like the reality hits. So I picked an additional card, and I have the Queen of Swords, and this is really, it's funny that they have like that. I don't know if that's supposed to be blood or what, but it's kind of gory for the Queen of Swords. But it's kind of like a necessary cutting. And because the Queen represents water, the emotions are really a part of this story. So I always see the Queen of Swords as someone who has been through the ringer emotionally and has to distance herself from what she has endured in order to move on. But you have to acknowledge it. You can't just close off entirely. That would be more like the King of Swords. You can't just like say, okay, that's it. No more emotions. It's like you can't spiritually bypass or psychologically bypass. You have to own your feelings about this situation and yet move beyond it at the same time. And so that's the challenge. And I think a lot of air signs want to just like close down, like be in their heads, be very like mental about it, but not really feel be all in the feels. And you know what? Sometimes you have to acknowledge your feelings before you can transcend them, right? But what a great ending card. The outcome, the sun. Everything that you could think of that's positive. The love, success, creativity, children, prosperity, healing. So it's like coming through the dark night of the soul to the other side. The other side of the dark night of the soul is the sun. And, you know, that song, The Morning After, I thought that was from the Towering Inferno, but it was actually from a movie called The Poseidon Adventure. And I think it's the same, you know, kind of theme. In the 70s, they had these kind of cheesy disaster films. And this idea of, you know, there's all this trauma, and then there's the peace that follows when everything goes back to normal. And so you may be going through something along those lines, Gemini, for some reason. And being able to bear witness to what you're dealing with without totally shutting out your feelings and being able to, you can get to the good stuff. Now, another thing that's interesting is that the sun is the ruler of Leo. So we have that Six of Wands, and then we have that Sun card. So there might be some Leo person that you end up with. But it's a very positive end to this reading. I hope that you resonated, Gemini. If you would like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.